you seen Star Wars?
These days, you're more likely to get news about a Star Wars project being canceled than you are to get a Star Wars project that actually releases on time. And we're going to be talking today about the Rangers of the New Republic spinoff of the Mandalorian series that is apparently canceled again? Maybe the second time now? But before we get into all that, please leave a like on today's video. Help me defeat the YouTube algorithm and the dark side that it has by pressing a like on today's video and subscribing if you want to stay up to date on the latest news in Star Wars. So, what's going on? Last week, I think Kathleen Kennedy did an interview with Empire Magazine, and they were talking about Rangers of the New Republic, and this is the quote from Rangers of the New Republic. They were talking about the Mandalorian's Cara Dune, played by Gina Carano, who Lucasfilm later stated is not currently employed by them following the controversial social media post, seems to be on hold, and they're talking about Rangers of the New Republic here, and likely to be absorbed into another series. And this is the quote from President of Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy. She says, "We'd had never written any scripts or anything on that. Some of that will figure into future episodes, I'm sure, of the next iteration of The Mandalorian." So she's kind of coming out and saying something that has annoyed me and annoyed my good friend the Goldman on the last episode of Chatooine that we did, that they announced this series, Rangers of the New Republic, before they even had scripts written, before they had anything approved of this series other than seemingly the loose story idea and the timeline and, of course, the name. So Rangers of the New Republic apparently isn't happening, and it's more confirmation that we also had Cara Dune as the lead, which it does seem like they were hinting at in Mandalorian Season 2 when they said that she was the marshal of that planet Navarro. And I think it's kind of interesting looking at Rangers of the New Republic right now, thinking of all the potential characters that we could have seen in that series. It was rumored that Cara Dune and Bo-Katan were going to be like the co-stars and the main leads of the series, and that's not the case anymore. I even heard that Timothy Olyphant was going to be one of like the main ensemble cast members who was constantly in the series as well. And I would have loved to see Bill Burr's character Mayfield come back as well, even though that character is supposed to be dead at this point. So a lot of potential, I think, for Rangers of the New Republic. And I think one of the reasons that Lucasfilm announced this series before the scripts were even written is because of someone like Jon Favreau and their trust for him and what he and Dave Filoni have done with The Mandalorian. It's sad, though, that it seems like they're not committing to this series anymore now they lost Cara Dune, and mainly because it seems like they're doing this as a, well, she's not going to be involved, we haven't written any scripts, we haven't really invested anything into the series, so let's just get rid of it. And yet again, that's kind of annoying, because it goes back to the situation that we've been talking about a while with Lucasfilm of, why are you announcing these projects when they're not ready? When you don't even have scripts for this kind of situation, why would you announce a series called Rangers of the New Republic when you had Cara Dune as the lead, and you were already having issues with Gina Carano, but you also didn't have scripts written for this series at all, which I guess is a good move in hindsight. Could you imagine if they had all the scripts written for the series and said, yeah, we're going to do this, and then they find out that they don't want Gina Carano to work for them anymore, they let her go, and then you either have to recast Cara Dune, or you have to rework the entire script. So it seems like this is all working out, but my problem is, I don't want this to be adapted into more episodes of The Mandalorian. I want The Mandalorian to be centered on The Mandalorian and that story, and mainly Din Djarin, of course. And so the prospect of changing the narrative going forward, that is how shows normally go wrong, is when you have a good plan ahead of time, but then unforeseen circumstances make you change things, and you use these other shows and their production issues to change the story of your main story and your main narrative, which is The Mandalorian. So I'm really concerned that whatever they had planned for Rangers of the New Republic, let's say it was a miniseries, let's say they would have done 6 episodes at max. Let's say they're going to incorporate all of those into like 3 separate episodes of The Mandalorian. That could work, and it could work as filler in The Mandalorian, but overall, I don't think that's anything people are really wanting to happen right now, and I think people are already kind of disappointed with not getting Rangers of the New Republic. I think their best course of action is just drop it. Just drop it and pretend like nothing happened. I mean, they do that all the time with all these canceled Star Wars projects, and this is yet again another canceled Star Wars projects. They're canceled-wise, I don't know if they've reached the double digits. In terms of production issues, they've passed the double-digit point by now. I mean, it's really sad how often this narrative is brought up when we're talking about Star Wars. I mean, it is at this point, like as it stands today, it's been a weekly thing. Every other week we're talking about a canceled Star Wars project, a delayed Star Wars project, creative differences with Star Wars projects. You know, it's a tale as old as time at this point, and it gets really old. We don't like repeating ourselves. I don't want to come up here and say the same thing of, oh, Lucasfilm needs to change, and does it start at the top, or is it someone else over there at the top at Lucasfilm? Is it Disney? Is it the creators? It's really hard to always think about who should I blame on these situations, and I don't want to blame anybody. Personally, I do think Gina Carano holds a lot of the blame. Lucasfilm sat her down and told her, hey, you're tweeting a lot of stuff, or you're making a lot of these statements that we are fine with, but it takes away from the Mandalorian and all that stuff. Like, the fact that they gave her a warning and she continued to do the same thing, I think is understandable why they would be upset with her. I don't think she should have lost her job, and it makes me really upset because as someone who liked her character when everyone else is calling her Mary Sue, and who was a big fan of Gina Carano when she was a MMA fighter on Strikeforce, I've always been a big fan of her, and so I really wanted her to get her own series. I loved the character of Cara Dune. I was really excited to see this Rangers of the New Republic, and it's really upsetting that the Twitter mob and Gina Carano alike all for some reason decided this wasn't worth a series, and political statements are a lot more important than good storytelling. Which, hey, to each their own. I'm sure Gina is happy, and I'm sure the Twitter mob is happy they got her canceled. But overall, it's really disappointing to know that we Star Wars fans are the ones who suffer. I mean, at the end of the day, who is losing here? Gina Carano's not losing. She's losing some money and the opportunity to be in Star Wars again. She doesn't seem to care. The Twitter mob and the people at Lucasfilm who overreacted to her tweets and to her statements, they're not really losing anything. If anything, they won because they think they took down some racist, transphobe person. That's what they call her. So they think they've won. And what do we Star Wars fans get? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We get the false promise of a Star Wars series that will never come now. We get a unfinished story with Cara Dune, who, despite popular belief now, a lot of people did like before her actress had all those tweets and whatnot. So very unfortunate situation. Always the Star Wars fans who end up losing. So thank you, Lucasfilm. Thank you, Gina Carano. Thank you to the SJWs on Twitter. You all succeeded in pissing off the Star Wars fandom yet again for no fault of their own. I don't blame Star Wars fans. I don't think we did anything wrong in this situation. But tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you guys think about Rangers of the New Republic not happening? Should they have gone through with it? Should they have rewritten some scripts? Should they have changed the story to make it, work for the narrative they were going for? Should they have recasted Cara Dune? That's a thing that's been going around for a little bit. I don't think they're ever going to do that. I don't want them to do that. I'm fine with the character just being forgotten at this point. But still, it is yet again another sad situation that we Star Wars fans have to pay for. But tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching today's video. If you like it, please give it a like, comment, and subscribe to stay up to date on the latest news in Star Wars. I'm Star Wars Only. I will see you all next time, and may the Force be with you always.